What's up, fight fans? Boxstar Forum. It's your boy Terry L, and I'm back at y'all with another one. Um, man, I got another one for y'all. This is actually a bit hilarious. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, as you know, is contemplating retirement, but Eddie Hearn is throwing his name in the mix. Let's go right into it. So Deontay Wilder, as you know, after his trilogy loss to Tyson Fury, is contemplating whether he should hang it up or maybe have one last go at it um, and see what happens. Because the heavyweight boxing scene, I wouldn't say it's wide open, but there are some fights out there that could be very interesting for the boxing fans uh, around the world. And for um, the heavyweights out there, there are some good matchups that can be made. So recently, Joseph Parker, as you know, defeated um, Derek Chisora in their clash in London in about a week or so ago. Now, Eddie Hearn is quick to jump out there and has put on the social media that he could have a potential opponent for Deontay Wilder were he to consider having a comeback fight. And he's gone as far as saying an easy comeback fight opponent would be Derek Chisora. Um, this hasn't gone down well, but I'll tell you what Eddie Hearn said. Um, After Chisora lost to Parker, Eddie Hearn went on social media, well, actually went through the zone, saying, Deontay Wilder, we want to see you back in the ring. I've got the perfect guy for you, Derek Chisora. Hearn was speaking to the zone. Come on, he's getting on a little bit. He's coming off 3 defeats in a row, or on the spin, in his own words. Easy comeback fight for Deontay Wilder. Derek's ready. Which is quite a contrast because in the past, Deontay Wilder was downplayed by Hearn and saying that Derek Chisora could beat Deontay Wilder. But anyway, Hearn goes further and quote, all Chisora's losses have come at elite level, and Wilder is an elite level fighter. He said, listen, Chisora can beat Wilder if he hits him with a good shot. I tell you what, if that fight goes past 4 rounds, Chisora wins that fight. Then Chisora's trainer, a guy named David Caldwell, has gone to Twitter and has said on his Twitter account, dismissing the fight, Christmas is over, he wrote on Twitter. Eddie needs to put the sherry away for another year, end of quote. So it sounds like Eddie Hearn is clearly trying to sell this fight because he believes that he can give Derek Chisora another huge payday. It will also be good for the heavyweight scene because it will mean that Deontay Wilder could mix things up again and keep things a bit interesting. It also could indicate that if Deontay Wilder wanted to go out on a win, then Eddie could probably see him, I don't know, maybe doing Deontay a favor, or I wouldn't even call it a favor. It sounds almost like the old boxing promoters back in the day where they used to get these guys who were past it or just close to being past it, and they throw them in there against an animal and get absolutely knocked spark out. But then they still give bags of money to this fighter for taking the fight and give bags of money to that fighter for taking the fight. And everyone's happy because at the end of the day, the promoter gets his bags of money because he's put on a fight that people still want to see. So it means that does Deontay Wilder look at that and become tempted? Deontay Wilder's no fool. So he won't look at that and think, oh, Eddie's throwing me an easy opponent. I'll take that one. And then if I take that opponent, then I can go out on a win and everyone's a winner. And then after that fight, then if I decide to go on, if I feel good about it, then I can't see Deontay Wilder jumping on that. Deontay Wilder will only jump on that fight, in my view, if he feels that that will lead him into a world title shot, or if there's something else that he may want to do. A lot depends on the WBC ruling, because with, as I mentioned for the previous podcast, if Tyson Fury and Dillian White cannot agree terms, and let's just say that goes sour and the WBC is now up for grabs, more than likely what that will mean is Dillian White will probably get the belt vacated to him. Now, according to Bob Arum, that cannot happen. So the Mauricio Suleiman has told them that he doesn't have to put his belt on the line. So Tyson Fury, that is, he could just fight a tune-up fight if he wanted to, or fight for the Linear or the Ring Magazine belt. Right? It gets more and more pathetic the more these guys keep talking. I mean, it just makes you think it stinks to high heaven. But let's just say if that goes sour and the WBC belt becomes vacant, then that means that Deontay Brown's Mama Wilder will then may fancy himself of saying, you know what, let me get that strap one more time if I can, and then go out. So I think a lot depends on that. I don't think just fighting Derek Chisora gets Deontay Wilder out of his bed and get him happy enough. If he was still champion, he may think about taking the fight, but I don't think at this stage. Anyway, that's just Eddie Hearns trying to be Eddie Hearn and being the typical salesman that he is. He's already a great salesman, so he just may try to do whatever he can to throw some money out there. I think they've done a brilliant job with Derek Chisora. They've given that guy easily $2 million over the last several fights, and per fight. So Derek Chisora has done brilliantly. He's probably got a meal here, a meal there. I guess he probably got a meal and some change off the Parker fight. So, and that was a main event fight. So I believe that, Eddie Hearn is just doing what he can to keep the ball rolling for 2022 and keep the heavyweight division interesting. There's some big fights out there for Deontay Wilder if he so choose a marquee name or a bigger name or an elite fighter. There's Andy Ruiz Jr. There's I would say he wouldn't fight King Kong Ortiz again. That wouldn't make any sense. Charles Martin has recently told Sky Sports that in 2020, negotiations twice collapsed for Deontay Wilder fight. The only reason why that fight didn't go ahead was because a trilogy fight was announced. And it meant that Deontay Wilder had to fight that trilogy fight because the arbitration went in his favor. So there's Charles Martin out there, but I can't see that being a big fight. That wouldn't even be a fight. That could probably be a good tune-up fight for Deontay Wilder because Charles Martin is garbage. So yeah, there's a few other fights. There's Joseph Parker out there. So if Deontay wanted to really test himself, he could test himself against some credible opponents. Dillian White's out there. So yeah, let's just see what happens. 2022 is already shaping up to be another fantastic year of boxing politics, if nothing else, in the heavyweight division. That's all I got for y'all right now. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story that just leaked recently about Eddie Hearn trying to throw Derek Chisora out there. I'm not sure Derek Chisora really wants it. But then again, knowing Derek Chisora, he'll fight King Kong himself. He's already quickly dismissed that he's not going to retire. So he's going to be fighting sometime in the summer. So it could be a fight between Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora. Let's see what you think. Hit the like and the like button, hit the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and let's talk boxing, all things boxing here at Boxstar. I'm out for now. Holla back. Peace.